What's new, my Mystic Crew? So today we are going down to locals. Well, we're going down tomorrow morning. As always, filming this part the night before. We have a winner map, which will be the thumbnail of this video. Hopefully, if I can get that down correctly, and you will see which map we're playing for. Given the last couple of weeks, I'm not expecting to walk away with the map. But hopefully I can walk away with a plus in the win column. You know, if there's 4 rounds, hopefully I can go 3-1 instead of 2-2. Last week was a really terrible week for us, and we still managed to pull 2-2 in the end. So the fact we still managed to do that on a week where we lost every single dice roll, like we didn't win a single dice roll all week, all day. Hopefully that will improve and we can actually take a few more games this week. But at the same point, I'm expecting people who have been on more of their, not necessarily mess around decks, but you know, I'm expecting them to take it a little bit more try-hardy this week because it's a winner mat, as well as I believe it's a sneak peek this week as well. So the pricing is going to be Phantom Nightmare. So who knows? We'll see what happens, and yeah, I will catch you guys after game 1. Well, we'll do the deck profile next, and then I'll see you after game 1. Okay, so here's the deck profile that we're going to be running for this week's winner map tournament, and hopefully we can do okay. So starting off, of course, with the bread and butter of the deck, we have our 3 Chimera Fusions. If you haven't been watching the channel by now, you know that is what this deck is all around. The 3 Cornfield Totals to help do your main searching. This is the now second best search target is the Mirror Sword Knight. The best search target, the Gazelle, because the normal summon and the Gazelle can be a lot more impactful than the Mirror Sword Knight, but it does also depend on the matchup, so bear that in mind. We have 2 Berthmet. We have dropped this down to 2. We dropped that last week, I believe, or the week before. Still not overly sure, but 2 definitely does seem to be working at the moment. We have our 1 Master Tau. This guy is putting in work. As you can see, he is definitely earned that spot in the main deck. And then, of course, our 1 End of Anubis. Would be nice to get the retrained one so it has the correct text on it, because at the minute this is the original printing, so it still has the old text on it. And that is our Chimera package. Pretty basic to what we've been what you've expected so far. With our branded lineup, of course, we have our 2 Fallen of Albaz and our 3 branded Fusion, and that's it. We have stripped that branded package all the way back because this is a Chimera deck with branded support, not a branded deck. Then here comes some hand traps and hand trap options. We have the Call by the Grave. We have the 3 Crossout Designator, because now they're finally here. I'm still not overly comfortable with Crossout. I think that's still more of a learning curve on my side. I'm used to not having it, so now I've got it. It's what can I do with it? 3 Ash Blossom. 3 Drawn Lockbird, and then we're running 2 Imperm and 1 Effect Veiler. The reason why I'm running this is it's a 41 card build. This is the 41 card and it is just a cross out target. I doubt this will come up in many games itself, and Imperm, with all the fire decks out there at the moment, honestly the on spot interruption isn't that fantastic, so I've felt more than comfortable keeping that at 2. With the board breakers, we've just got the 2 Fenrir. I have dropped 1 from the deck altogether. I just felt it wasn't needed, and then you was drawing 2 in your opening hands or whatnot and breaking you up a lot more. We've got our 3 Super Polys and then 2 Triple Tactics Talent. Again, these are not cards that I've been getting on with, but they are good cards, so I think it's just more my play style at the moment, so I do need to really start managing that. Then on with the extra deck, this has changed slightly as well. So we have the 2 Chimera as standard. We are still on the 2 Baphomet. I know a lot of people are running this at 1, but I do definitely feel that 2 is needed. Then we have our 1 Chimera, the Illusion Beast, which is our OTK machine. Our 1 copy of Guardian Chimera. With Magnum the Reliever is still in the deck. It is a really good card, and I feel it can still be optimally played without polymerization. Dropping the Edge Imp package definitely does make it harder to play, because when you've got the Chimera Fusion, you're going down through the Chimera lines. You're not really thinking of Magnum the Reliever, but then again, that's more my playstyle, and that's something I need to start addressing. Then we have the Rimbrand, the Lubellion, the Mirror Jade, and the Albion. Yeah, the Rimbrand is a great starter if you don't have the Chimera package, but you do have Branded Fusion. The other 3 are questionable if they'll stay long term, but for now I don't really have anything else to swap them out for, because when I do swap them out, I'd want to swap out all 3 in one go rather than just drop 1, because I feel it's the package. You either play it or you don't. With our Super Poly targets, we've got the Garura, the Predaplant Dragastapalia, and the Mud Dragon of the Swamp. I expect this card to put in a lot more work with the upcoming format being able to shut down the fire. And then the 15th and final spot in the extra deck is actually going to a Xyz monster. We have a copy of Typhoon. So if we're going second and our opponent does their board, we normal summon Gazelle, and bam, it gets hit with an Imperm, Veiler, Ash, whatever. We'll just go Typhoon instead. Fuck it, why not? And then anything they've got with 3,000 or more attack, good luck at activating your effects, because it ain't going to happen. With the extra deck, I've been talking to my son Corey, who also plays the game, as you know. There's a few cards in here which are questionable, but we'll see how they go. So obviously we've got the Evenly Match, which still puts in a lot of work banishing cards face down. I'll put the Nibiru's back in. With the new Snake Eye card coming out, the fire decks do now start playing into Nibiru a little bit more. So I just want to see how many times I can punish someone with that. Plus obviously it's still really good against other decks in the format. We've got the 2 Ghost Spells. I didn't feel I would need 3, but who knows, that might come back to bite me. We have the 1 Invader of Darkness for the the Runic matchup. The 3 Cosmic Cyclones to take out the back row decks, as well as the Fire King Island, because you don't want to destroy it, you want to banish it. And then this is the card that was questionable. 3 different Dimension Ground. Now, this is more of a game 3 card. Realistically, you've gone 1, your opponent's gone 1, and now you're going first. Side this in, and then it's during their standby phase, flip it up. Okay, so here we are in round 1, and we won the dice roll, and we're going first. So we start with the Mirror Sword Knight, tribute it to spec out the Big Wing Baphomet, get the other pieces, and we do the whole combo here. We search Kotal, discard, search in second Mirror Sword Knight, activate the Chimera Fusion to add it back to hand, and yeah, we're just cooking our general combo here. We've got the End of Anubis in rotation. We've got the 2 set. We pass and we rip the card from our opponent's hand. So we are playing Solomon here, round 1. He goes ahead, specs Fenrir effect to search for Fenrir. I would have loved to have Droll there just to shut down any further searches, but yeah, it is what it is. We go ahead, activate the Mirror Sword Knight to negate, but it gets called by. So yeah. Not a whole lot more we can do here. As you can see now, he is on the Fire King Snake Eye stuff, which is always fantastic. I don't know enough about this deck to know how to conquer it, but we did manage to shoot off a Super Poly and go into that Mud Dragon there, and I believe that, oh no, he goes into the Typhoon. Typhoon just punches over our thing, so we take 2400, and then he goes ahead and activates to bounce the Mud Dragon back to the extra deck. So here we go ahead, activate the Chimera to spec back the Berthmut, which then triggers the Berthmut, and then we activate the Fusion Berthmut Engrave to spec back the Chimera. So here we have a little think. We activate the Chimera Fusion, fusing off the Berthmut and what do you call it? The Gazelle in hand. We go through our whole combo here. We're ripping the last card out of Solomon's hand. We get the, again, we're just going down. We've got the 3100 where, however, Typhoon, I can't activate its effect to 0 off Typhoon. I normal summon the Gazelle, search for the Chimera Fusion. I don't really have much choice. I need to go into Guardian Chimera. It's the only thing we have which is big enough. So I have to give up the Ash from hand. And I punch in. I swing for 31. I swing for 21. And we have to pass there. So we rip the last card out of Solomon's hand. Solomon gets his Dice Bellstar Witch back. And yeah, he does what this deck does, basically. And yeah, we don't keep up, to put it simply. Right, don't get me wrong, we did a lot better game 1 than what I was expecting. But yeah, he just goes pretty much full combo here. And, there's just really not a lot we can do at this point. Here comes the Phonics, and then, you get all the other stuff going on. Excuse me. But, we live, we learn, and whatnot. And it's not over yet, so... we still stand a small glimmer of hope. Sorry about it, you'll see something just swipe across the screen there, just getting rid of some notifications. I'll go ahead here, banish the Chimera, but so he's just moving everything of ours to dispel and trap zones, and then he does his whole combos. We get Heat Soul, he pays 1,000, searches, draws a card, and then we go access code, pop, and swings for game. So I will be back in the next round. Okay, so I did say next round, but I meant next match because it was deciding. So we go first again, we activate Kotal, search the Mirror Sword Knight, and we get hit with a drop. So, yeah. We normal summon Mirror Sword Knight, we pass turn, we activate Different Dimension Ground, and it's just a little tech I wanted to try on this occasion, just to see how we could do, and it started off quite well, I like to think. So you had to pass, and then I activate Berthmut gets met with an Imperm, so I had to pass there. And then Solomon just passes again. I switch Berthmut to attack mode, and this is where I start to misplay. He goes ahead, activates the Lightning Storm. The Harpy's Feather Duster, not a lot I can do. He needed to pop a fire, and as long as Berthmut was in defense mode, he could not pop the fire. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, sure. And now he just goes off here. So our turn, I normal summon Albaz, activate Albaz, but again met with an Imperm. I had the cross out in hand, but he still had full combo, so that's the end of that, and we lose to Solomon. So that's the end of round 1. As you saw, I did not fare very well. Game 1, I thought I did alright. Game 2, just got hand trapped to death. Solomon showed me his hand afterwards. I was going to get hand trapped to death, but... yeah, misplay towards the end there. As you saw, I could have crossed out the Imperm, but realistically, I would have had Rimba, and Solomon would have gotten full combo and still took the game. I would have just lasted a few turns longer, but at the end of the day, we live, we learn. Playing against Solomon, get round 1, always a treat. As I say, you always learn something against Solomon. In this case, I'm a fucking idiot who don't know how to play cross out. That's what I learned. But we will go into round 2 and see how we get. Okay, so here we are in round 2, and we are against Mark. Excuse me. So Mark is on the Testina, So Mark actually won the dice roll, but he's allowed us to go first because Testina is a blind go second deck. So we activate the Branded Fusion, we go into the Rib Run, which sets the Gazelle off live, and then we're able to start our normal Chimera combo. So we are now off to the races, and we can see what we can get done. So we are now into the Birthmark Fusion. The Foolish is the end of Anubis, because at this point I wasn't 100% sure what he wanted to do, what his gameplay was, but we live and we learn. Basically, let's see what happens. We have the extra deck negate, we have the monster effect. I can't remember what I tried to negate. Oh, I tried to activate there. I didn't try to negate anything. I just tried to activate it. And yeah, he went ahead and just got wide. Then he Book of Eclipse everything. So everything's gone face down. But at the end turn, whatever's still face down, I get to flip back over and then draw a card for each one. So I go ahead, banish the Baphomet to spec back the banished Chimera. This way, it still puts my Kotal live, so I've still got that target negate. Otherwise, we'd be in a very, very bad position. But so far, things are going well for us. I'll go ahead and activate the Imperm. He then overlays them into the Testina Xyz monster, which, again, I'm really sorry guys, I'm not overly familiar here, but he just punches over the Rib Run. Then during the end phase, I activate Rib Run, banishing itself to spec back the Albaz, and then fuse off his Xyz monster into Mirror Jade. So then that's our turn. We flip over the Guardian Chimera into attack mode, we set the thingy, and we just punch for 5-1, and we have the the Chimera Fusion face down, and our negates are now live again, and Max scoops it up there. He sees the writing on the wall, so we'll be back after siding. Okay, so here we are for game 2, and I've gone first to activate Kotal, search in the Mirror Sword Knight, activate the Branded Fusion, send in the Albaz and the Gazelle to set the Rimbrun up again. Gazelle's now live. I searched the Master Tau. As you can see, it is pretty much just rinse and repeat from last turn. We spec out the Baphomet. The Baphomet searches the Chimera Fusion and the Gazelle, which then we go into the Guardian Chimera to rip a card out of our opponent's hand. We spec back the Mirror Sword Knight. We activate the Chimera Fusion again, going into the Baphomet and Master Tau. So we Foolish Burial, of course, and then spec back the Kotal. So from here now, it's our opponent's turn. Like I said, Mark's normally pretty competent, but during the end phase, he goes ahead and just Nibiru's us, which, fair play. I do not blame him whatsoever. I played straight into Nibiru, and we got punished for it. It is what it is. It happens to us all. But thankfully, Mark does actually struggle to get over the Nibiru token, so we are pretty good there. And I was able to banish the Chimera to go ahead and get our Baphomet back. So it's a case of we're still alive, we're still cooking on that front. So our negates are still live and active thanks to the Baphomet being back on the field. So here now we have Typhoon. Typhoon activates to fizzle out the token. However, I activate Kotal because it is a target, which negates and destroys. Whereas if Mark went to battle phase first, punched over the Baphomet, and then went to main phase 2, it would have ended a bit differently. But unfortunately, Mark didn't think about that, which happens. Where when you're in the middle of it, you don't always see things clearly, and sometimes misplays happen. And this was one of those times, unfortunately. But we was able to capitalise from here. Mark's field's empty, and we just take game from there. So that's the end of round 2. I took the win there 2-0 against Mark on Testina, which is always a fun deck to play. But at the end of the day, I think like Brick Game 2, he didn't have a great hand, and we was able to capitalise on that. But we live and learn, it's part of the game. Happened to be round 1, but we will move on to round 3. There's 5 rounds today, so hopefully I can go 3-2 and have a plus today. But we'll see, and I will catch you guys at the end of the next round. Okay, so here we are in round 3, and we have a little bit of a mirror match going on here. We're against Owen, which is his first week out on the deck. And we go ahead and activate Branded Fusion. Just want to double check what was in the hand, but we send the Gazelle so we can get the whole Chimera package live and online. So then from here we activate Kotal discard for the Mirror Sword Knight. You've seen this play so many times. I'm sure you guys in the comments can tell me this play better than what I can now. We activate the Chimera Fusion, fuse off the Birthmet and the Gazelle, go into the Chimera to rip a card. We spec back the Mirror Sword Knight, and then the Gazelle obviously searches. We activate the Chimera Fusion, but we've already activated the Gazelle search, that's why I didn't search again there. We Foolish Burial the End of Anubis, and we move to the end phase and we rip a card. The card we ripped was Spriggan's Kit. Now we go ahead and activate the End of Anubis. The End of Anubis is on the field, so it shuts down the graveyard plays. Cards that activate in the grave or target the graveyard cannot be activated. He of course just straight up mirror trades us. We activate Rimbram, which is what it is, isn't it? Like we one mirror trade for another. I don't know what I did there. Oh, his mirror trade went off and destroyed everything, but we managed to get our Chimera back. Thanks to the Birthmet, we just swing and swing because he ashed the Gazelle. I set a card and we passed down. Unlooking Grove, not really a lot we can do there. I ashed his Mirror Sword Knight, so we move to game 2. Here we are, we're just finishing the shuffling now, so we can move on to game 2. So I'll go ahead, draw. Our opponent chooses to go first, activates Branded Fusion. Biggest bait I've ever seen in my life, but you've still got to respect the Branded Fusion. So I go ahead and ash that. He searches off Edge Imp, so I draw that, so then hopefully that will shut down his Chimera lines. You go straight into the Birthmet to Foolish the Mirror Sword Knight to get that live, which is pretty clever. So here now, so our turn, I go straight into the Red Room. We activate the Gazelle searches, so we grab the Mirror Sword Knight because I already have the Kotal in hand, so then we go ahead and activate Kotal. And then from here, it's a stand play Mirror Sword Knight. He banishes his Mirror Sword Knight to negate my Birthmet, which, cool, fair enough. Can't blame him that. So we just go ahead, punch his monster. He activates his Branded Fusion, his Chimera Fusion, because it can actually fuse off the Mirror Jade. He goes ahead, activates the Mirror Jade effect. I negate and mounts it with Rimbram. He does all his plays. He goes into a Branded Fusion again, sending his Gazelle and Fallen of Albaz to get his Rimbram out. Sorry, I'm doing this on Tuesday. It's been a few days, so I don't really remember the full play. He activates his Chimera Fusion again, goes into his Gazelle. Goes into his Guardian Chimera, which, because he has Poly Engrave, it is protected, so that's not good for us. And from here, you can pretty much see the writing on the wall. You know it's coming. You know that we're not going to be able to really do much here. But it is what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, he has a big old field. I can't do nothing. So yeah, we just take a beating, to put it simply. Still don't really understand the line he was going down here, but he's ended up with a lot more than what he had initially. So yeah, He punches and punches, just doing the calculation, and yeah, he had game on field, so we're moving to game 3. Okay, so here we go for game 3. I've chosen to go first. We go ahead and activate our Kotal, Satchmere Sword Knight. We tribute for cost, spec the Birthmet effect, grab the Gazelle, grab the Chimera Fusion, activate the Chimera Fusion, fusing them off into the Chimera. We got a little chain link here. We spec back the Sword Knight, we grab Tau, we rip a card, we activate the Chimera Fusion, we fuse into the Birthmet, so we can spec back the Mirror Sword Knight, and we spec back the Kotal, and Foolish Kotal, we rip the Lightning Storm out of the hand. That is essentially what wins us the game. We have enough board presence with what he's playing to be able to stop him. However, we would not have survived that Lightning Storm. So just the fact that we was able to get that Lightning Storm off was insane. That really came into fruition and really helped us out. We had a chat about the game afterwards, and we both agreed that if I didn't have ripped that Lightning Storm, it would have been, it would have been a lot more difficult, but we took the game. So that was the end of round 3. I took that game 2-1, as you saw. It was very good. I loved the mirror match. Shame Super Poly wasn't drawing, because that would have really impacted the game. Oh, nearly dropped the phone. But yeah, so we're doing all right. We're now 2-1. We're going into the break now, so you know, get a bit more life back into us and hit round 4. Like I said, I'm on track for the 3-2. Hopefully, though, fingers crossed, maybe a 4-1. Who knows? We'll see who we get paired up next, and see how badly I do. Wally is also 2-1 at the moment, so hopefully, and kind of hopefully not at the same point, I guess, we get paired up, because if we get paired up, it's going to be a fun, friendly game, because that's who Wally is. But also, he's such a tough cookie to beat. I will be heavily reliant on my hand traps in my deck, and when you're relying on hand traps for a win, you've already lost. So, fuck those, and let's see where we go from there. Catch you all in the next round. Okay, so we moved into round 4 here, and I can tell you now, I'm not going to get a lot of these names right, because we're against David playing Drytron. So he Foolish Burials 1 Drytron, he ditches the Natasha to spec another Drytron, and it also searches, so we drolled to try and shut down the search. He activates Thrust, so he can set his imperm. Cool. Good way to bounce around droll, just set instead. We activate another Drytron to overlay into 1 Drytron, so now we have, I think this one's called Beta, to send the Ritual Spell. When he activates Ritual Spell, gets the Natasha on the field, so yeah, so far so good, and it's doing wonders for us. So from here now, it's our turn. We go ahead and activate the Kotal, we search for the Mirror Sword Knight, normal summon, we tribute for cost, we then spec out the Big Wing Birthmet. The Big Wing Birthmet's met with the Imperm, but we activate our Crosshat Designator, banishing the Imperm to get our Birthmet to resolve. We go into the Chimera, we do spec back the Mirror Sword Knight, we then add Tau to hand, we activate the Chimera Fusion to add back to hand, we activate the Chimera Fusion, fusing off the Tau and the Mirror Sword, and the Chimera to get the Baphomet, so we can Foolish Burial the end of Anubis and spec back the Kotal. From here we have a little think, we have 3 cards left in hand, and I attempt to punch over the Natasha. He activates the effect, we activate the Mirror Sword Knight to banish for cost to negate the effect, so therefore we can still punch through the Natasha, which was very helpful, because that would have been a pain in the backside to try and get around otherwise. But there we are, we have got it sorted, and we have been able to move through. And now from here we do what we do, we spec back the end of Anubis, shut down the graveyards, because why not? So now it's David's turn. He's having a little flick through. He's having a little think about what he wants to do, how he wants to do things. And realistically, I've got him on the back foot. We've shut down his grave. He goes into the Downing Magician, which, cool. We go into the Zeus. The Zeus just blows up the board. That's definitely one way of getting around everything, isn't it, really? Not a lot I can do there, so just like lose my entire field. But hey, is what it is. And now, because his graveyard's live, he can go ahead and do what he does. I go ahead and activate to spec back the Mirror Sword Knight, but he has a monster thing which just takes control of it. So, yeah, game one's definitely not going our way, that's for sure. And it is definitely proving difficult. So, from here, David's just now doing his whole play, and you know, he's adding, he's searching, he's linking, he's unlinking, he's doing a whole list of things here, and honestly, this is no good to any of us. Like, he's just absolutely destroying us at this point. So, yeah, we scoop it up. We go to game 2. We'll be back after siding. Okay, so we're back, and unfortunately I was a little late to the party. We hit and play. We went to summon Gazelle. He went to Imperm, so I activated the Chimera Fusion to go into Rimbrand, sending the Fallen Valbaz from hand, which obviously kept the Gazelle live, so I was able to search the Kotal, discard the Kotal to get the Mirror Sword Knight. Now, that does hurt our end board. However, we do have 2 cards set. We have the Rimbrand, we have... we have some play. So here David goes ahead and specs out this thing. Like I said, I don't really know the name, so it's hard for me to say, but we had Droll, so we go ahead and activate Droll. You know, we stop him from searching anymore. By all means, he can still add straight to the field, or he can do whatever to send things to the grave, but he's not getting anything more. Here I decide to Super Poly. So we fuse off the 2 monsters he had on the field into the Mud Dragon. And he's still able to play through, he's still able to do some Drytron things, but he activated his monster effect, not realising that Rimrun will just negate and bounce it. And as you can see in his hand there, he's only got Ghost Spell left in hand. So here we activate the Kotal, discard it for cost to search the Mirror Sword Knight, which we normal summon, and tributes cost, spec the Birthmut. Birthmut search the Gazelle and the Chimera Fusion. We go into the Chimera, and we have our chain. So it is a case of he went to activate, he couldn't activate it though, unfortunately, because I chain blocked him. And that is the joy of the TCG over the OCG. We are allowed to chain block. So that's the end of round 4. We took that 2-1 against David, as you saw. So, you know, Drytron, hard deck to play against, even still in this day and age. The brick in game 3 on David's part really helped me out, obviously. So, yeah, bit of RNG there, as we saw in Owen game 3, ripping up Lightning Storm. Definitely had some very good luck on my side today. So let's hope that luck carries on into round 5, and maybe for the first time ever we can get a 4-1 result. That would be very nice, but we'll see what happens. We'll see who we get paired against. Wally's also 3-1, so there's a good chance I might face Wally, or there's Miles as well. I've never played Miles before, but he's a really good player, so either way I'm in for a tough matchup next round, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so here we are for round 5, and this game has been sped up to the normal 4 times speed. However, it really didn't need to be, as you'll see why. We draw his Fenrir, so therefore you can't add anything else. But he activates the Branded Fusion anyway, going into his Rim Run, sending the Gazelle. The Gazelle's not going to activate, but we Ash. I have no idea what I just ashed, because... oh no, the Droll got called by, that's right. So I ashed the Gazelle, but he had the Mirror Sword Knight anyway. So it's like the freest ash of his life. So he's played through my ash, he's played through my, you know, my other bits and pieces. So yeah, not looking good. So then here, he he just goes for everything. I'll go ahead and ash his Baphomet. We activate Super Poly, fusing off his monsters. Attempt to activate and win bounces. So that is game. So we move to game 2. Okay, so here we are for game 2. I've gone first and just had to set 2 pass. I literally bricked. There was nothing I could do here. We activate the cross out. He cross outs my cross out, but unfortunately I couldn't cross out his cross out. So yeah, his plays go through. He now knows my other set card is a second cross out. So yeah, absolutely nothing. And there's nothing I can do. I got Ash. My other 2 cards in hand, I can't remember, but another one was Ash. He called by the Ash, so I've got an Ash in hand, which is now useless. And for top deck, I top deck another Ash. So yeah, I literally bricked on call buys and hand traps. So, which unfortunately he was able just to play through everything anyway. You can always tell it's a really bad showing when the siding took longer than the gameplay. But we've all been there. Again, we all have experiences where you just can't do nothing but sit back and just watch you get absolutely annihilated. So we lost. So that was the end of round 5, and yeah, as always with Mankind's games, you either win really quick or lose really quick, and this time the luck finally ran out and I bricked. Is what it is. As you can see, we've still got some time on the clock. We've got, I know, last time on the round there, so we've gone 3-2, which was the aim, so can only get better. We'll see where we place. I'll let you guys know afterwards. See you then. Okay, so we came 3rd place today, and this is our prize in, so we'll save the OTS for last. See what we opened. Just borrowed Callum's mat here. Good silverware and a whole bunch of nothing in that one. Oh baby, pull the bonfire. There we go, who's the real winner today now? 3rd place on the bonfire. Let's go. Dude, you bought Chimera, that's so sick, you can play it in your deck. I can indeed. And then enough bound servant thing. Bonfire's going to be a nice little packet into our wedding fund.
I love what they like to play. We're doing Chimera and Gazelle reprints.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, Bonfire. That is a very nice and expensive card. So I'm happy with that. Stop.